Everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian for Liberty, Fabian Calvo. Check out fabianforliberty.com or fabiancalvo.me. Here with a real estate update that I think you just kind of got to listen to it and probably watch the video a couple times because you're probably not going to believe it at first. Maybe you will. Really not necessarily a news story. I've been talking about this now since the Bundy Ranch. In fact, about a week before the whole Bundy Ranch thing broke open, that it was over Harry Reid's son's solar panels, the solar panel company that was basically a joint venture with a major Chinese company. I then, on Greg Hunter's USA Watchdog, came out and said that this was basically the U.S. government arranging sweetheart deals with the Chinese government to keep them in as the number one buyer of U.S. debt. Well, how does that apply to the real estate market now? I'm going to break that down as the Chinese settle up one of their largest purchases, investments in USA real estate to date. First, I want to remind you that a couple weeks ago, I think it was last week actually, we launched the new Resourceful Real Estate Academy website. A bunch of free things that you could sign up for, free video course, bunch of other great things on there as well. Real cool blog that we've updated also that you can check out. Great content there as well. If you're interested in buying your own home, want to become a real estate entrepreneur, this is the site for you. I believe some of the best training out there for would-be real estate investors. In fact, I'm right now in the process of doing a bunch of case studies with people that have gone through the program in over 20 different countries, closing deals all over the world, literally. But I'm going to pick 10 different people, case studies that have been buying deals, closing deals, and how the program has changed their life, and be rolling that out on YouTube here in the not too distant future for you to check it out as well. Okay, so one of the things, if you've been following my real estate analysis, is this idea of a pump and dump, and how we had record levels of debt and literally trillions of dollars of toxic properties after the 2008 crash. And we had Wall Street, sovereign wealth funds, you name it, big money investors, billionaire investors, John Paulson, Warren Buffett, Soros, Carlos Slim, buying into the real estate market. And that's what's gotten it to a 30% plus price increase since the 2008 crash. Now, is it manipulated? You bet your bottom dollar. But all markets are manipulated. I mean, when I go buy, one of the biggest manipulated markets out there are the sugar market, the sugar commodity, or the orange juice commodity. I mean, living in Florida for some time and spending about 6 months out of the year there, let me tell you, the people that run the sugar lobby and the orange juice lobby, that is one of the biggest manipulated markets there is, period. Okay? So all markets are manipulated to some extent, but there's markets like the stock market, like the real estate market, that are manipulated much more. Even like gold and silver. Gold and silver, by the way, just hitting fresh lows. Silver now below $17. Gold below $1,200. I absolutely love that. Major buying opportunity. It's on sale. People are like emailing me all freaked out. I bought at 40. It's at 16. That is a celebration moment. Because, again, if you understand, that's like me having a life insurance policy or car insurance. That's me having a policy against a dollar that is being devalued on a daily basis. But that's a whole nother video. So the real estate market is totally manipulated. And right now it's being manipulated towards the upside. So if you know the triggers and know the different actions of how they manipulate these markets, it's really not rocket science. I mean, it's pretty easy to see. What's great is that when the markets crash, that's when even the better opportunity presents itself. Now, keep in mind that the Fed has been saying, we're going to lower rates. Or, excuse me, we're going to end QE, and they're going to, now I think, put a date to when the QE will officially end. Yet, interest rates on 30-year mortgages hit a fresh low just last week. Okay, so how is that possible without the Fed buying more and more debt, keeping the rates so low? Well, it's all manipulated. It's a gigantic scam. It is a fraud. But here's the latest, and this is coming from one of my most trusted sources on Wall Street when it comes to real estate high finance. He's a guy who actually gave me the info on how the Bureau of Land Management was basically cataloging and categorizing all of this land through the southeast, through the west, like the Bundy Ranch, in order to find out, okay, we're going to give some of this to the Chinese for solar projects. They're basically collateralizing this stuff, okay? Now, of course the Chinese have been giving sweetheart deals, so they won't dump U.S. debt, and so that we can keep that that relationship going, because at this point, a lot of people think, oh, the Chinese need us. No, we need them more than they need us at this point, okay? And that is, case in point, is how they've propped up the U.S. economy with trillions of dollars in foreign holdings of U.S. debt. But now, my same contact is telling me that this recent deal, the Chinese just invested $2 billion, a large Chinese insurance company, in buying the landmark Waldorf Astoria. So here again, I've talked about how prices are going crazy, prices are going buck wild towards the upside. Here again is yet another example of real estate prices getting all-time high valuations. Now, is this happening in every market? No. I can tell you, we're in over 30 markets, the Note House. We're seeing it happen in every market. Now, is every market going up 30% a year or double digits a year like you see in California? No. But are we seeing steady 5 to 10% year after year, in some cases quarter after quarter? Absolutely we are. And it's all happening because a couple of reasons. One is record low rates. Two is the speculators that are coming in buying with 0% money. And three is a lot of people that are buying with cash that they have because they're freaked out about the overall economy, about the stock market, and they want something that they could drive by, fix up, rent out. Unlike gold and silver, real estate cash flows. Unlike stocks, other than the ones that produce dividends, real estate can cash flow if you can manage it. That's a whole nother deal, much harder than most people think. Point is this, ladies and gentlemen, is that what if I told you, not being reported, of course, in any news outlet whatsoever, that the U.S. government actually ponied up some of the capital for this Chinese firm to buy the Waldorf Astoria? They did it through a couple different ways. They did it through giving them steep discounts in U.S. treasuries, allowing for excess capital to be put towards this purchase. They've done it also through direct financing made available for state-run Chinese companies to buy up real estate. And that's being done through the big mega banks to these state-run Chinese companies to buy not only the Waldorf Astoria, but major food suppliers like Smithfield and other major real estate projects and developments that are taking place across the country. Now, I'm telling you, probably at least twice a month, if not more, I get people that email me telling me, Fabian, yeah, I'm in Texas, outside of Dallas. They've just built this gigantic 300-home, feng shuied out real estate development for Chinese investors to come in and buy. And they're doing that because the Chinese come in and buy, they get a visa. If they buy something above, I think it's certain threshold, I believe it's $500,000. But here we have a case of end of the road as it gets, where the Chinese government is now being given money to come in to invest, or giving these sweetheart deals to come in to invest, because the criminals that run the U.S. government believe that's what it's come down to, in order so the Chinese will not completely turn away from the dollar and just focus only on the Russians or on the Indians, which, by the way, I did this video last week on the Shanghai Cooperation, that as it's being called, which is like a new NATO of the East. The handwriting's on the wall, gang. I mean, it is literally on the wall. The relationship between the communist Chinese and this criminal government go way back into the 1940s, when on record, prior to the CIA, the OCC, I think, or the OSS, or whatever it was called prior to the CIA being created, literally financed the communist Chinese to overthrow the nationalists in China, gave them tens of millions of dollars to arm them. That is an absolute fact, and it continues to this day. Because the end goal for the globalist is a state-run authoritarian type state like China is today. That's what they want in the West. I'm Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty. Again, check out the new Resourceful Real Estate Academy website. Love to hear your feedback on this video. Thanks for watching. I'm out.